Warning, this video may contain spoilers for any of the movies included in the video. If you haven't watched any of these movies and care about the story, don't watch the video. Or watch the movie first. You've been warned. If only you knew the power of the dark side. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, TheMadKaiger here today. I'm sorry about that weird intro. I don't know what's going on, but this video, hopefully guys, is going to be an exciting one because it's going to be my first properly edited video. That's right, first edited video. I can't believe it. It's come to this, guys. But anyway, guys, we are here reviewing something that I need to, that I haven't put nearly enough attention. We are talking about Star Wars. Particularly, we're going to be talking about Solo. But just before I get into that, let's start with, do you remember when Star Wars was just Star Wars? It was just a trilogy of movies. And then it spawned another trilogy of movies. Yeah, another one. So 3 became 6. And then they decided, well, we'll make a 7th one because why not? And then they went, well, we'll do one that doesn't actually, take place in particularly a certain part of Star Wars, but before another one. So we'll put that one out in the movie, and then we'll make number 8 because obviously we need to continue the story. And then it brings us to our main feature, Solo. Oh dear, Solo. Now, this is actually the second of the Star Wars story movies because basically what they've done is, while we have got the Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, and of course number 9 coming soon, they decided, well, we're going to do some spin-off movies set in sort of other parts of the Star Wars universe. And they did Rogue One, and I'm going to talk about these other films in a separate video. But Rogue One was quite a success. But it's crazy how many Star Wars films there are today. There's Star Wars books, there's Star Wars games, there's Star Wars TV shows, Star Wars comics, Star Wars porn, everything Star Wars. You've got merchandise. I mean, look, I'm wearing Star Wars hoodies. I've got Star Wars freaking t-shirts on, probably got Star Wars underwear on as well. Everything is Star Wars obsessed, guys. But you know what? It's one of my favourite franchises because that's what Star Wars is now. It is a franchise. Now, unfortunately, with franchises, as they get bigger, they start to put out more stuff. And that then brings us to Solo. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Is the hate on this movie really needed? Because a lot of people actually, all these review sites like Rotten Tomatoes and IDBM and all that stuff, or IMDb or whatever it's called. I forgot the name. So, yeah. They gave this movie the lowest rating of the Star Wars movies. I think one of the lower rating for a Star Wars movie. Now, this movie is important because this is the only Star Wars movie I didn't watch in the cinema, apart from, of course, the original trilogy, because I weren't even born when they used to come out in the cinema. But if they bring them out in the cinema and you can go and watch them in the cinema, I will definitely go and do so. But that brings us to Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, I do like the idea of they're doing movies that aren't actually following the main story and they're focusing on characters. We started with Han Solo, who, in my opinion, is a great character to do work on because he is an interesting character, and it was so obvious it was coming because in The Last Jedi, with the dice and everything, you knew they were hinting at the next Star Wars movie. But we've got other Star Wars movies coming. We've got The Mandalorian coming, guys. The Mandalorian trilogy of movies. I'm so looking forward to that one. But we've also got maybe a Obi-Wan movie coming. There's talks of a Darth Maul movie coming. There's talks of a Boba Fett movie, a Jar Jar Binks movie, R2-D2 movie, C-3PO movie, fucking Dengar movie. Everything. Any character in Star Wars can have their own movie. That's how it is now. But that being said, a lot of people were sort of a bit disappointed that it weren't Harrison Ford playing it. But you've got to understand, guys, this is Han Solo before he was Han Solo, basically. He didn't even have a name. His name was Han. Now, there might be some spoilers, but I did put a warning in the beginning. Now, the movie sort of takes place in a time before The movie takes, my camera fucked up then, I don't know what happened there. The movie takes place in a time before the rebellion started, a time before, you know, the First Order, the Empire. The Empire is around, obviously. It takes place maybe about a few, I don't know how many years after Revenge of the Sith, but the Empire has sort of been built. I don't know if the Death Star's already been. The movies, or you know, the Empire is around, but it takes place in a lawless time, basically where there's a scavenge for this fuel. I've forgotten what it's called now. Coaxium or coaxium. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, basically a fuel source. Now, obviously, that's kind of something that, you know, could potentially be something that's in the Star Wars universe, you know, a potential problem from the Empire's point of view. You know, they need fuel, right? And basically the movie starts on Corellia. Now that name may sound familiar because it's actually, yeah, Corellian YT frigate, Millennium Falcon. Yeah, the movie sort of takes place in that sort of time. You see Han Solo, he doesn't really have a family, you know, he's a young boy in this world, you know, this horrible place, you know, where there's no law. The Empire is going around taking remedies of their own, you know, taking the law into their own hands, you know, in a sort of underworld society so much. Now, and that is what this movie is based around. It is based about, you know, the underworld side of Star Wars, you know, the Black Sun, the Red Dawn, Crimson Dawn, sorry, you know, all these different parts of, you know, the underworld, which hasn't really been talked about too much in the actual movies. And I think it was important to do a movie based on the sort of criminal underworld side of things, because it is a pretty big part of Star Wars. Just don't do a movie that's solely based on the Senate, because I will fucking die if they do that. But anyway, yeah, so Star Wars Solo does that. It takes place in this sort of lawless time, and I do like that. I do really think it's a good sort of start. There's some interesting characters that you see in the movie. Dryden Voss is one of the main sort of enemy characters. He's part of this gang called Crimson Dawn, and basically how it is, you know, Han Solo's with this girl called Kira. I think her name is Kira, yeah. Who, yeah, and basically she works with Han Solo, and basically what happens is Han Solo's obviously in love with this girl, and then Han Solo tries to get off the planet, and then they get split up. You know the story. I'm not going to talk too much about the actual story, just some parts that are important. And the first part is sort of, you see Han Solo in a much scared environment, and I think that's really cool to see. But actually he escapes, his girlfriend doesn't, so you know what he does? I'm going to go and be an Imperial pilot. Han Solo went to work for the Empire, but unfortunately it takes him to a place that's just not what he thinks. So Han Solo at this point, so you know he actually got some skills from the Empire, and it's interesting to see all the little Easter eggs, all the little Easter eggs in this movie that are placed, and there's so many, and that's what Star Wars fans love to do. We love to point out the things like, oh my god, there's this, there's that, there's this, you know, and link everything to any other thing that's Star Wars related, any other movie and all that stuff, because that's what we do. That is what we do. You see me, you get me, understand me. Anyway, so what happens is basically the Empire is not what he wants. So basically he decides, you know what, I'm going to try and work for this crew. And, you know, he finds a new crew basically. And then, you know, it all comes down to a big, like, sort of thing that they're doing. Han Solo obviously doesn't know what he's gotten himself into. He gets cocky, they fuck up, and basically he ends up going to the boss, and the boss is like, you know what, mate, you fucked up, man, you don't fucked up. So Han Solo, obviously being who he is, gets a new crew. You know, obviously we find Chewbacca in here. He goes and has to go and find a pilot because he's got a new plan, aka Donald Glover, aka Lando Calrissian. And I think that whole Lando Calrissian scene is pretty cool actually, because it's sort of, you sort of see sort of how Lando was, because Lando's another one of those characters that isn't too truly explained how he is in the movie, so it's nice to see him in a different, in another movie at least. I do like the whole theme of the movie, and I do like that whole sort of how it all comes together, and it does answer a lot of unanswered questions about Han Solo, the Kessel Run, you know, how he got the job for Jabba the Hutt, how he got his name, how he got the Millennium Falcon, and it answers pretty much most of those questions that most people ask about Han Solo. Which obviously, and hence what this movie is pretty much about. This movie, look at this movie as an exploration of Han Solo, not its own film. Just look at it as basically a long documentary on Han Solo, almost. I wouldn't say documentary, but you know what I mean. A long movie just based on Han Solo. Forget about the whole cast and the whole what is going on. Just if you look at it as a movie to do with Han Solo, you'll probably enjoy it a little bit more. But I think it's actually got quite a nice tone to it. There's some parts in the movie that feel like a western. You know, there's parts like where Han Solo stood there against other, you know, guardians. That, you know, the whole, yeah, gun in pocket, bam, that kind of thing. There's parts in the movie that feel like a war movie. When they're on the planet. When Han Solo joins the Empire, basically they're on this planet which is just pure mud, and it looked like World War One. I'm not gonna lie, even some of the weapons in the movie look like World War One. There's some different cross tones in the movie. It's thrown in some westerns in there. It's thrown in some war movies. I know a lot of people say it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie, but I don't think that's the case. It's still got the starfighters part going through the Kessel, you know, seeing the Millennium Falcon in action. Then there's a droid again, L3. I don't really like her. I think she's one of these droids that basically doesn't want to be a droid. Feels like, you know, droids rebellion basically. But she becomes, yeah, she becomes part of the ship, but she's got a lot of attitude. I don't really like her. I think the movie has a pretty good tone. It follows a story, and my favourite part of the movie, there was a part in the movie, now here's the big spoiler.
Warning.
There's a character in this movie that I didn't expect, but when I look back at it, I thought, the name Crimson Dawn. He was actually a leader of a gang. Maul. Darth Maul. Why? Darth Maul is in this film. It's just basically, I'm not going to give it away too much, but it's a hologram, but he lights his lightsaber, and I was watching it, and then you just see, because I had the subtitles on, it said Maul, and I thought, is that Darth Maul? Are they saying it's Darth Maul or what? And then boom, it's Darth Maul. I was like, oh my god, man, are you kidding me? This son bitch, he's back. But obviously Darth Maul isn't out of place, actually. It really isn't, because like I said, he was a gang leader, and he did all this stuff after he died. You know, just because he's not in the movies don't mean that he's not in the doesn't mean that he's not still around, guys. He does a lot in Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars. Overall, I think Solo definitely doesn't deserve the hate that it got. It's definitely one of these movies that I think, why some people, I can understand why a lot of people don't like it, because I think, to be honest, here's my personal personal opinion on why most people probably don't like this movie. It's because it's not Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, he's getting on, guys, so leave him alone, man. They've killed him off in the movies, so obviously this is a young Han Solo. This isn't Han Solo while, you know, after episode freaking 6. This is Han Solo before the first ever Star Wars, so, you know, I think Solo definitely has some issues. Like I said, the characters, apart from Han Solo and Chewie and Lando, I don't really care much for any of the other characters. But obviously Kira, or whatever her name is, Han Solo's girlfriend, sort of does a little turn, and there's more to her than you think. And I've got to sort of think made me think a little bit of, ooh, who actually is she? You know, is she actually someone else or what? So I don't know if there's going to be a sequel to Solo 2 maybe. I definitely think we're going to see another movie based on Crimson Dawn. I reckon the next Star Wars movie, Star Wars story movie will be a Darth Maul movie, because you've got to think, guys, Darth Maul appears in this movie for about a minute, and then you don't hear from him again afterwards. And then the movie ends about 10 minutes afterwards. But the movie sort of gives this whole thing of what is Darth Maul there. Kira is basically, you know, working for Darth Maul or something. So something's gonna happen. Something is gonna happen, and they did it with Star Wars, the Last Jedi, with the dice, and then it was a Solo movie. Darth Maul's in it. Darth Maul. Is Darth Maul going to be the next movie? I think he is, and I think it's going to be basically a sequel to this movie. It's going to continue on, or at least maybe show Darth Maul becoming Crimson Dawn, and then continue on from this movie, Solo. I definitely think it is. But yeah, I don't know why my video's been stopping and starting today, but hopefully I'm going to edit all this in together. Editing, lads. I have put a lot of different things into the channel, and on Wednesday we're going to talk more about them. Sorry, I haven't talked too much about this film. I've only watched it once, so maybe if I watch it again I'll do a more in-depth review in the future. But this is my first sort of edited video and my first movie review, so I wanted to take a different tone here. I wanted to try something new, and most of my effort is going to go into this editing side of things. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but I think it might show some improvement, and I think you guys might enjoy it. I really hope that this all comes together nicely. I've got to send all these files over to my tablet, which might take a while, so I'm really hoping this comes out nicely. But Star Wars, guys, it is a franchise, and it's something that isn't going to die anytime soon. I, for one, don't really care. Anything Star Wars related, I love it, for the most part. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and of course, comment below. This has been TheMadKaiger. Let me know, do you want more movie videos? What movies do you want me to watch so I can review, and games? And of course, guys, I'll see you tomorrow with a gameplay video. I don't know what we're going to play yet, but I'm going to decide tonight, and get the intros and everything set up. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. And of course, follow me on Twitter and Instagram in the links below. Check me out on Patreon, and also my Streamlabs and my Twitch account are in the links below. Feel free to check me out there and join in with the fun. I might be doing a live stream tonight, I don't know. We'll see. If we are doing a live stream, I will be putting it out on Twitter and Instagram and everything, and I will be putting it out on Twitch and stuff like that. So of course, guys, anyway, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Excuse me, I've got to go and take care of some business.